Welcome back to Fabulous Studio 9, everybody. Today's technique, we're going to be talking about braising. Now, braising is a combination technique that we use to make tougher cuts tender so that they are palatable and enjoyable to us and our guests. And I say a combination technique, I'm going to be talking about, we're going to start with a saute, a version of saute, searing, and then we're going to transition to a moist technique when we add our liquid. Now today we're going to be adding tomato product as our liquid and doing kind of a play on chasseur. Chasseur is a French braise that usually denotes the use of mushrooms and herbs. So we'll be back to that in a moment.
Our braise is going to start with a combination of peppers, onions, mushrooms. Thyme and rosemary are going to be our herbs. And we have boneless chicken thighs and chicken legs. We'll start by seasoning our chicken thighs and legs with just a little bit of salt and a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. Make sure we season both sides of the meat. Once we're done seasoning the meat, we're going to sear it nicely in a skillet. I enjoy using cast iron here at Studio 9. Get a nice golden sear on our chicken. That's going to start to create deeper, richer flavors. And once we get the sear done, we can add our vegetables to the same pan, making sure we get the fond off the bottom of the pan as we saute our onions. And once our onions begin to saute, start to get just a touch of color on them, we're going to add our diced peppers. And those are going to begin to saute as well. Start to sweat down. Flavors are going to soften. Sweetness is going to get highlighted. Once we get there, we'll add our quartered mushrooms. We're going to get those just with a touch of color on them as well. And once we get our mushrooms, onions, and peppers nicely sauteed, we're going to add the chicken back into the pan. And this is where we're going to add our tomato product, a little bit of crushed tomatoes right there. And we've got some whole plums that are going to go in as well. I like the mixture of the crushed and the plums. The crush is going to give me a lot of tomato product, and the plums will give me some nice meaty tomato pieces within the stew as well. So this whole thing is going to come to a simmer. And while it's simmering, I'm going to add my herbs, a little bit of picked thyme right here. Keep in mind that we don't want our stems in our braise, they're difficult to eat. So we'll pick the thyme, remove the stems, and now we're going to add a little bit of chopped rosemary in here as well. Now, all of these herbs and the mushrooms are what makes this the French stew chasseur. As this begins to cook, I'll break down the tomatoes just a touch. And we'll do this under a lid for approximately 1/2 hour, maybe 45 minutes. Now, as the stew cooks, the connective tissue in the chicken legs and thighs are going to break down, yielding an incredibly tender braise. Now, if we were using this technique on bigger pieces of meat, say a lamb shank or beef short ribs, those take considerably longer. I'm just going to heat up a little bit in the pan. Now, I made some gnocchi in a previous video, and those gnocchi are going to get added right into my braise. Give them a little toss with the sauce. Heat those up nicely. And there we have it.